For this movie, we'll learn how to apply simple pan and volume automation. We'll work on the drum stem, and we'll select the drum mix group by pressing D. We have already set up this mix group here in an earlier movie. And we'll bring the drums into focus by clicking the drums memory location that only shows the drums. And we'll solo the drums by making sure that the mix group is selected, and we'll just hit solo. It'll solo all of them. Now let's press play and watch what happens. So we see that the session is playing, and we see the meters reading out levels, but we don't hear anything. That's because the drums are being sent to the drum stem. And the drum stem, if we click on it, is not part of the solo group. So what we need to do is we need to either include it within the solo group, or we need to do something else called making it solo safe. And that's actually the better way to do this. Solo safe will essentially exempt a track from not playing if another track is soloed. So let's choose all of the stems. And to solo safe a track, you'll hold Option and click the solo button. It disappears. Now, when we go back and play, so we hear just the drums. Okay, so now that we have our drums solo saved, and all of our stems for that matter, let's go back to the edit window, and let's take a look at just the drums. So we'll click the drums memory location. So here the drums are in view. And to toggle quickly to volume automation, we will use the selector tool to select a track and hit the minus key to toggle to volume. Now, one thing we want to make sure is on before we start any kind of automation is to choose the very bottom box here on the track and set automation to read. We will be writing with the mouse, not with the control surface, so we're not going to get into the different types of volume automation, reading and writing. We'll just choose read. Now that that is enabled, when we toggle a track, you see that volume is not italicized, and we can quickly draw volume automation. Okay, so let's choose the hi-hat. Now I'm gonna unsolo all of the tracks, and this time I'll disengage the mix groups and just solo the hi-hat. So I disengaged the mix groups because if they were still engaged, I would solo all of the drums, and I don't want that. Okay, so that's the hi-hat. So with the selector tool, I select the track, hit the minus key, and I'll use the pencil tool, this is the line tool, to just draw freely. And watch the fader. It's now moving according to the automation that we drew. Okay, so drawing automation is pretty straightforward. First, make sure that your track has automation enabled, and to do that, you check this bottom box here and set it to read. Next, you select the track with the selector tool, and then making sure keyboard focus shortcuts are selected, you hit the minus key, and that'll toggle to volume automation. Now, the long way is not that much longer actually. You can just choose the box here that says volume, and you can toggle between waveform, volume, and pan. And later, when we get into automation of inserts, we'll be switching to insert automation there. Okay, so now to delete these points, I can use the selector tool, highlight the points, make sure that you're in volume mode here, and then just choose delete. If you aren't in volume mode and you're showing the waveform, you're going to actually trim out the waveform. You don't want to do that. Choose volume. So we'll choose volume. We'll choose the hand grabber tool, and this is the way that I like to do it actually. I like to just click points on the line and then drag them up or down. And you'll get the same effect. So here it is slowly moving. And also when you're adjusting points here with the hand grabber tool, if you hold Option, you can get rid of a point. And if you hold Command, you can finally adjust the points by dragging up and down. If you don't hold Command, then the points just drag a great distance. So Option, click a point to get rid of it. Command, click a point to finally adjust it. And then with the pencil tool, there's a lot of different shapes you can choose. So for instance, you can choose a parabolic shape to draw a nice curve. And it doesn't want to let me do that right now. Let's choose here a square. So here I can do some gating of the volume. And here it'll gate in and out. So watch the fader. And this is actually really good to do gating of sustained notes, which we did in an earlier movie with a different method. But you can get pretty creative with the line tool and the hand grabber tool in basically automating volume and other parameters, such as pan. To automate pan, we'll click on the volume block here and choose pan. And you see there's a L here at the top and an R at the bottom. So as you would expect, if we draw a notch to the bottom, it's pan right, and to the top, it's pan left, and in the middle, it's pan somewhere in between. So then you can use your ears for this one, and as well take a look at the panner in the mix window. So here's pan right, left, and then just a little bit off center to the left. So look at that again. Okay, and we will choose the selector tool, select it, and delete to restore it. And that's pretty much it with volume and pan automation. The important thing is to remember to be in the proper mode when you're automating. So here I want to automate pan, so I select pan. If I want to automate volume, I select volume. If I want to trim a waveform, I'll choose waveform. And to quickly go between waveform and volume, I can choose the minus key. But what'll happen sometimes is you'll edit very quickly and you'll accidentally either trim out a waveform or you will edit pan, and then you've got to go back and clean it up, and you just want to save time there.